Okay, yeah, now we got it. Boy, oh boy, you know what? These microphones are actually very good. The problem is they're too good. Because if you turn them on, excuse me a second. If you turn them on, you don't have the receiver ready. The transmitter shuts off. So that's what happened. How's everybody doing? All right, I got the phone a good arm's length away tonight. Jan, how are you? Yes, it has been a long time. I'm doing better, thanks. How are you doing? And how's everyone that's in your care? How are they doing too? How's everything? Been a long time. Good to see you. Probably hear how windy it is. You probably see the mount shaking. With this back a little bit, plus the fact that, oh, any minute, see there's a store across the street, so go like this. Hey, Matthew, how's it going? Fist bump to you. Store across the street is open. So we're getting light from them. We also have this. It is a dark night. Almost, we're approaching the new moon, so the moon's not out. But it is windy. It's been so windy. I haven't been able to fly my drone for the last 2 weeks. It's pretty bad. It's funny because I don't fly it a lot, but when I have in mind to do it, I like to be able to go do it. And I just got a set of ND filters. That's neutral density filters. And what the neutral density filters allow you to do is to really not here, not sure what you mean. Oh, maybe you're not talking to me. The neutral density filters are so you can slow your shutter speed down and get more motion blur. Yeah, you must have been talking to Matthew. There's a little bit of a lag. Matthew, how's your business doing? And I know I don't have, a huge reach, but if you could give us the name of your bakery, and the town it's in, or anything so people could find it. Go right ahead. Most people continue to ride with these electric bikes with passengers, and it's just terrible. Anyway, these things are all over the place, and no license plate. So if they whack you, you've got no recourse. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be Late Night with MJ Klein without this. Hey, that's really cool. That's a cool name. Yeah, I imagine you're going to be busy with the festival. The only problem is these aren't prescriptions, so I can't see quite as good, but Apple Butter Festival, wow. Really? Wow, can you get some video and stuff? I love that kind of stuff. Big copper pots, I love that kind of stuff, man. Yeah, video or heck, live stream if you can. But yeah, video and photos, that'd be great, that'd be fantastic. Dave, good evening. Over fire, you say? Over like real fire. Wow. Dave, how are you? I was just saying I bought my neutral density filters over a week ago. Still can't use them. Haha. I think they're red suits. Wow. Tonight, I just saw a big pickup truck, like a huge pickup truck, like you see in America, with, you know, a cap on the back and a big American flag on the side. I'm like, wow. Like I teleported. It is, and you can hear it, right? I lost the dead cat for the mic on a Hago tour at the big Buddha down in Kaohsiung. I kind of been holding out on you guys because I didn't do that on YouTube, and I did it in 2016 on Periscope when I first started time on live TV. A very successful broadcast. And I did it in, this year on Hago. I'm going to say it was May, I think, because I was down in Kaohsiung. I knew I was going to be down there. And so, anyway, got my gold jacket on, as you can tell. So, it's funny how these glasses, like with my hair, just lights up whatever color, you know, because my hair is white. So I forget. I think the next one's green. Yeah. See. Okay. So this is a. I keep saying this because I haven't. Yeah. There you go. See, I don't wear these all the time. I hope you guys don't think I walk around wearing these, because I only use them like on live streams, but maybe I should start wearing them everywhere. I wonder what would happen if I just went shopping with these things on. It'd be pretty interesting. I should go to the guy that makes my glasses and ask him if he can make me some small lenses that fit in here so I can see. But there is a battery contact problem on this side, and I only notice it when I live stream. And every live stream I'm like, oh, I got to look at that, and I never do because I don't take it out during the day. I mean, I don't take these out of the box any other time. So yeah, this is a very, very dark blue, and it happens to be one of my favorite colors. All right, now speaking of technology, this is funny because I read something this week. Excuse me. Wasabi. Excuse me, wasabi sinuses. I'm still thinking about what Matthew said about the apple butter. I guess that's the name of the festival, Apple Butter Festival. Big copper pots. Man, I would love that. You know, we have our own things like that in Taiwan, but not quite the same seasonal things, you know. Like in New England, say I lived in the Boston area, and in upper Massachusetts, northern Massachusetts, near New Hampshire, is an area, I'm going to say, I think it's Topsfield, but they have a place called Apple Crest. And they're apple orchards. You can, you know, go in there and pick whatever you want, put it in a bag, and just, you know, put all the apples you want in a bag, and they weigh them and you pay them on the way out. But they all got all kinds of stuff. They have kind of a little harvest. It's not anything to do with Halloween. It's a harvest celebration. Bonfires, which some could argue is tied to the Salem witch trials, because they used to be called bone fires. Won't get into that. But, you know, hay rides, actual hay wagon pulled by horses, and apple cider, pumpkin, you know, pumpkin products like pumpkin pie and all that. Just amazing stuff. And they don't really have that here. They do have like the strawberry festival. That's what they have in Taiwan, because Taiwan's known for strawberries. Time for the next color. Yeah, this is my favorite color, I think. This and red. This actually, I like this color. I like red, and I like the dark blue. And so I'm looking forward to that. When we get into the beginning of next year, and comes around March, we'll be going down to Miaoli for the Strawberry Festival. And it will be really, really fantastic. Taiwan strawberries are off the charts. In general, Taiwan fruit is really off the charts. And there's something I didn't really realize. I heard it called that before, but when I was a kid, the man across the street from our house where I lived was in the fruit business. And he's the one that told me that the bananas that we had in the States, the long ones, long bananas, you are right about that. The pineapples are amazing. And usually there's a truck right over here, at least once a month. And there's a lady, and she's an expert, man. Whack, whack, top and bottom, slice, and just, skin them in. You can buy a bag, a whole sliced pineapple. I forget what it is. I think it's $5 or $6. It's ridiculous. And they're really good. You could probably buy them in the States because they've been trying to expand the market, because of China boycotting, right? You guys heard about that. China's always doing this. China's like a crybaby that just nitpicks about everything. And there are so many, everybody knows that, like, the milk formula and all that stuff made in China is all tainted. And the thing about, Taiwan products is they're not tainted. But China always finds a reason to, see what I mean? China always finds a reason to send them back. Anyway, so I started to say that I read something interesting this week about technology. Speaking of Taiwan, the president of Taiwan, President Tsai, said that in 2022, there would be 200 offshore wind turbines built. I thought that was a typo. Shouldn't it be 2023? No. Turns out that they've been building them at an incredible rate, which is one of the reasons I want to take my drone down to Yunnan, because there is a wind farm down there that's just amazing, and it goes way out into the ocean. I can legally fly 900 meters from the point of takeoff, or from the point of control. So if I was on the beach, I could go out almost 1 kilometer in the ocean and fly around these wind turbines. Because the last time I checked, it wasn't a no-fly zone. You could change it at any moment. But what President Tsai was saying was, by the end, in 2022, they're going to actually have 200 new offshore wind turbines. Wow. I saw at least 2 articles today saying that Taiwan is forefront in the world's race for zero emissions. I mean to say this. That's a race they're going to lose. Zero emissions. I've heard people say that their town, their municipality where they live has told them that they can't have a wood stove. Do you want to live like that? I don't. If I want to build a campfire, what business is it of yours? If I have a wood stove and I want to heat my house with it and you don't like it, you can sit on it. You can brand yourself with it as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, this is where we're headed. So, anyway, before I get in trouble, I'm not going down there anymore. Now, this week, those of you who are in our line group, the late night line group, know that I was goofing around because I have got a new video card, and I have video editing software and stuff, and I like to play around with different disciplines. But I acquired some new stock footage. I acquired about 2,100 clips of stock footage, and I decided to put together, at least try to see what it looked like, put together like a music video. One of my studio clients and friends, Robert Monahan, and he has a great song that I just had the privilege of working on. It's his song. He wrote it. I arranged it. I'm playing piano, bass. I programmed the drums, because I didn't actually play those, just programmed them. It was easy. And I played some acoustic guitar on it, and I did the MIDI programming for the orchestra. I used the BBC orchestra, and the MIDI program for the piano too. Wow, guy went sailing through there. You heard the beep beep? He just went like really fast at that intersection. And that was against the yellow light. But I've seen people on the scooter just shoot through on a red light. That could have been never mind. And so I produced it. He played 2 tracks of guitar, and of course it's his voice singing. And I mixed it and mastered it. And it's available now on all the leading platforms. You name it, Spotify, Deezer, even here in Asia on KKBox. But it's available on Apple, what's that called, iTunes, I guess. And yeah, Google, everything. So it's called When I'm With You, and the artist's name is Robert Monahan. So I did this little video for him. And I mean, I didn't have I didn't even do like credits at the end or anything. I just did a video just to see what it would sound like, or what it would look like rather. And I sent it to him, and he loved it so much he distributed it everywhere. So now it's out there. But even if you have a couple thousand clips, to do a video, one 3 or 4 minute video, you might need 50 or 100 clips, because some of these snippets are 2 or 3 seconds long. So it's a great song. It's a beautiful song. What I'd like to do is it's not even 4 minutes long. It's a radio single length. I'd like to play you that video and let you hear what this song sounds like. I'm going to go ahead and mute my microphone. Let me do this. I'm going to mute the microphone, and then you can tell me what you think, because I think it's a great song, and the strings and orchestral parts came out really, really well, I think. Let me mute my mic and stand by for Robert Monahan's new tune called When I'm With You.
waves, an endless stream, warm blue skies, cool blue streams, heaven's gate within my view. Just to walk along beside, life would be a perfect ride. My cloudy skies would all be blue. When I'm with you, I'm never lonely. When I'm with you, I'm never blue. And I can tell the world I love you only. I give my heart to you. To you. And when the morning sun awakes you from your dreamy sleep and takes you where the leaves are laced with dripping dew, that is where I long to be, nestled warm and tenderly, deep within the thoughts of only you. When I'm with you, all things are lovely. When I'm with you, all wrongs are right. Just like the loving force that rules above me, every star shines bright, bright, bright. When the time has come at last to carry on tomorrow's past, you will find me running through love's pure waters white with foam. Love has been my home sweet home ever since the day that I met you. When I'm with you, I'm never lonely. When I'm with you, I'm never blue. And I can tell the world I love you only. I'll give my heart to you. You. When I'm with you, I'm never lonely. When I'm with you, I'm never blue. And I can tell the world I love you only. I'll give my heart to you. You. To you.
And at the end, that of course is Robert and his lovely wife Judy. So I want to say thank you to both of them. It was a pleasure working on that project. And yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun doing the studio work. Now, it seems for some reason, okay, hold on. Our mobile internet's going down, 900 kbps. It's going back up to 1,000. So it stayed good during the video, but now it just, okay. And there were some shots of Robert in there. playing the 12 string with the string ends that he didn't cut off. It really like scary because those things can poke your eye out. But he's got the headstock of the guitar with all those string ends sticking out, and that was him in the talent show in the Air Force. He was actually stationed in Taiwan. It's pretty amazing. And the funny thing is he was here intercepting Morse code transmissions. That's what he did in the Air Force here in Taiwan. Pretty cool. He told me that he had a signal in each ear. They're listening for specific things. Pretty cool. Now I'm good at CW with Morse code, but I'm not that good. I can't copy it out of each ear. So yeah, see, now we're back up to 2500 kbps. So if something happens, every once in a while the internet dips down and that's the end of it. So hang on a second. I'm back on my regular glasses because I hear some activity going on. I think from Win-Wins, I'm not sure. There's some guys over there at the High Life, and I don't want to draw any more attention to myself. I got to tell you, I'm about ready to move from this neighborhood, and I really want to build a new studio, a new room for the studio, and I'm hoping I can get a house over close to my daughter's school. This neighborhood is very interesting. It's very unique. There's a lot of things about it that I love, but what's going on is the things that I dislike about it are becoming greater than the things that I like about it. And just to give you an example, I've been having some trouble occasionally with people parking in my space, and some of it was from the realty company, and they installed these lights behind the realty company, and I don't know what for. But the lights are mounted on trees, and they're pointed up into the trees, like at my house. And so they pointed at my daughter's bedroom window all night long. So I went over there and politely asked them. They turned them off, so that's good. They were good, and I appreciate that. And if you watch my live stream and you're hearing this, I want to say thank you. I went over there and thanked them personally already for turning off the lights. But it's just, it's always something. I always got to talk to people about throwing trash behind the house, or I got to call the city to help them tell them to come cut the branches. The branches are like, the trees are on government property behind the house, and the branches are like rubbing up against my daughter's window and stuff. It's just crazy, And you guys know Win-Wins. And all those amazing times we had back since 2016, early days of Periscope. We used to live stream from there. We had so many guests, including our friend Dave, from Osaka, and Osaka. And because I always say that wrong, it's Osaka. And many people. You guys remember, of course, John Ho and Jubbins, and John Sabo and Yuka, and John from LA was here, and oh my goodness, Casper, of course, has been here a bunch of times. JL was here. And so the point I'm trying to make is those days are gone. For a number of reasons. COVID killed a lot of the travel, although it's nice to see the JL still traveling, which is great. But people aren't really coming here like they used to. And Win-Win's the site that we used to hey Kenrod, fist pump. Good to see you, bro. Win-Win's, the place where we all used to go to, right? Mike fist pump, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. The whole gang's here. Yeah. Only one we're missing now, I think, is Coco, right? It's just that it's not the same, and the the place is just like, I went over tonight, and it's just a bunch of seedy characters. Of course, they changed the layout. It used to be Mr. Wu's barbecue in the front, and then Moon Winds was next door, right? Oh, gotcha. Okay, I do that too, because when I was watching your last live stream, I was at my PC in the studio, and I was doing some work while I was listening to you. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And then I would occasionally switch over to that window and type a reply to you about something, and yeah, that's everybody does that. And I have a face for radio anyway, so anyway, good to see you, Mike, and good to see you too, Ken. Thanks. Win-Wins is not the same place anymore. It's not the same place that it was back in the old days when we had a bunch of trolls, when we have 200 or 300 people watching on Periscope, and there'd be trolls and stuff. Remember those days? I haven't been trolled in so long. I'm starting to feel slighted. Yeah, I still remember getting trolled by a person that identifies as a woman but was really a man. I had somebody else on Twitter contact me about that person too, and said that person was trolling pilots and people that work in the airline industry, and they think they found out who it was, but it was a guy using a woman's name. And then of course there's the infamous on YouTube, my biggest, not really a troll, but just somebody who I chose to ignore, was Stacy. Turned out to be Steve. And I've been waiting for Steve to come back so I could ask him how Stacy's doing, but so. Yeah, well, yeah, there is. Excuse me. There is. The thing is Periscope was, in its day, just what we needed. It was technologically sophisticated, and it was a platform designed exclusively for non-gaming, necessarily just non-specific live streaming, and it descended into the abyss. It just wasn't moderated well, and Twitter had no excuse or no reason. But now we see what's going on with the whole buyout deal from Elon Musk and that. We can understand why. Us who use Periscope, I mean, we knew that Twitter was messed up, 6 years ago, and so now everybody else is finally figuring out what we've known for a long time. But we're actually seeing the depth of it. These guys are off their rocker, man. They're just they're out in left field, literally. And remember the broadcast days. I mean, broadcast was a great platform. I'm really sorry that didn't go anywhere. I'm very sorry that I didn't get a chance to deliver my presentation to them in Dubai, which, I don't know, maybe I'm full of it. But I definitely had a plan for them moving forward that I know would have been lucrative, and I know how to make money. I mean, I don't work. So yeah, there was definitely some potential there, but their investor pulled out, and that was the end of that. And then, several other platforms came along, like DLive, and it was promising, but it just turned out to be a cheap Twitch clone with kind of a cheesy cryptocurrency, supposedly, based on blockchain. Whatever that means. It doesn't mean anything to us. We're using live stream. We don't care if they're using two tin cans and a string. It just doesn't matter. But they try to do this whole thing with coins, and then there's haps. And don't even get me started, haps and coins and stuff. And then anyway, there just hasn't, in my opinion, been, and I've been saying this, and I'll say it again, there hasn't been a platform that has come along that will replace Periscope in the same way that Periscope existed. And what I can't figure out about YouTube and Google, these guys, I mean, they're really smart, but they're really dumb too. There's YouTube Music, right? There's a YouTube Music app. You don't even have to wade through all the other content. If all you want to do is listen to music on YouTube and watch music videos, there's an app for that. So why is there not a YouTube Live app? Who knows? Facebook too. File that under lost opportunity. Sometimes I wish I was in charge of some of these companies, at least in the decision making with regard to that. That would be a no-brainer for me. Yeah, but I have been holding out on you guys because there's a platform called Caffeine, and it's strange. It's a strange platform. Now, if you got 100 followers, you can RTMP to them, and it's kind of a very strange process. You have to upload a placeholder video, and within a couple minutes, you have to get the stream key and start streaming to them. It's not very doable, but they do have a standalone app. But if if you're just going to stream on that, then you don't get anything else, right? And I like Prism. I'm not, whatever I do, I got to be able to use Prism because I want the chat box. I want to be able to put the graphics on. I want to be able to show you guys things. And so Caffeine has got a very strange aspect ratio. You have to hold the phone vertically, which I hate. But it's not quite Instagram 1-to-1. It's more like 2-3. You know what I mean? And so here's what's really funny. Now, Dave in Osaka kind of put me up to it, but yes and no, not really, but he kind of put me up to it because we talk a lot about stuff where it seems like some of the stupidest, most unworthwhile, let's say, content gets the most views. It's really bizarre. And so what I've been doing on Caffeine, because Caffeine in of itself to me is a very bizarre platform. I'm not really sure what the main staple or the main draw is. It seems to be a platform that's populated mostly by rappers. Seems like it's rap guys, rappers. But every Friday afternoon, about 3 o'clock or so, my time, I turn Caffeine on the third floor restroom, and believe it or not, I wash my face and I use my Arc 5 electric razor and I shave. Just shave on Caffeine. And I've done, I did 1 or 2 live streams on Caffeine where I sat in my car and I titled it in English, but every other live stream I've ever done has been titled in Chinese, like wash face and shave beard, for example. It's all in Chinese. And I gotta tell you, I did a live stream. I had 3 people watching live. Within 24 hours, I had 42 views. And I realized that if you look at the last 3 YouTube live streams I've done, you know, like this, and you look at my shaving live stream on caffeine, and you compare them, I'm getting bigger numbers shaving. What's going on? What the heck is going on? It's just so weird. I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea. There's something going on over here. This dude right here. He's trying to go into this door, but this door is closed. The light is off. See? But what he did was, he walked across the street towards me, and he stood right here, like 3 meters from me, and was pacing back and forth while I'm talking to you. He turned around like 3 or 4 times to look at me like, what am I doing? So, I don't know what's going on. There's a High Life over there. The guy's, I thought he came from the High Life. I don't know what, there's some weird people here, man. And so now he's just, look, that's him over to the right, see? The white pants is just standing there. So, anyway, whatever. So that's the deal. Yeah, see, they turned the sign off, but the guys were inside working. They're restocking or they're doing something or cleaning, you know. And so all the lights inside the store are on, but the store name sign, the marquee outside, is off. They close it at midnight. And so right now it is midnight plus 42. So now somebody just pulled up in a scooter, and it's I think it's a woman, hard to say, mask and helmet. No, it's a woman, and she's yeah, they are anti-intellectual. Anyway, so okay, so a woman just came up there, and he's putting a helmet on. And here, what the heck? See, so they just closed the store. They just closed the store. Now he's getting on the scooter with the woman, and I guess they're going to drive away, and that'll be the end of that. So, okay, Mike, anti-intellectual, and I'll tell you what. I'll just leave this on. I'll just leave that on for a while. Sorry about the shake a little bit. You know, Joey B. Tunes. I don't know if you guys watch him. Joey B. Tunes on YouTube. He's always making fun of TikTokers and idiocracy and all kinds of stuff. And he, you know, what Joey likes to do is he'll show some guy that just is on TikTok and like puts the camera in his mouth. He goes, ah, and laughs. And it's like, you know, 1.2 million views. And then he finds some like 16-year-old girl that's playing cello and is like just incredible. And they'll show, you know, she's got, you know, 36 followers and 15 views or something, you know? And Joey talks about that a lot. And so, anyway, I'm not saying that I deserve a lot of views because I don't put any effort or any time into YouTube. I just like getting on and talking to you guys, which is what I always do. I'm fortunate that when I was in my late 30s, I was in a position where I actually had a national talk show in the United States. And, you know, so if I opened the mic, 10 million people would hear me. That's something that quite frankly, I kind of fell into. It was pretty cool, but it all had to do with my friend Grady. But I've always enjoyed, you know, getting on. And I remember, Matthew, one time you told me specifically, this was about, gosh, it's got to be 6 years ago. when everybody used the term scope, you know, because of Periscope. You just told me never stop scoping is what you told me. And people were like, yeah, MJ, never stop scoping, because we like having these discussions, talking about different topics, you know. Wow, see the wind? Look at that. It's not an earthquake, it's the wind. Let me grab this thing. Wow. I'm going to put, there's a lady walking by, and yeah. Let me do this and see if I can, anyway. Yeah, see, they turn out the lights and they close the door down. So you see that my face is a lot darker, and I can get more light off of this than anything else. But yeah, Matthew, you told me not to quit scoping, and you know I haven't. I have quit the Taiwan Live TV project, and I've really cut back. I was doing Hey Go tours for a while, but I kind of lost interest in Hey Go, and I'm not the only one. They did a couple things that were just yeah. Oh, hey Jay boy, fist bump. Well, thanks. No, I appreciate it. You know, it's just I got to be honest with you, okay? I'm really working hard to get some music out. That's what I really, really want to do. And I stay up too late, and I eat the wrong foods, and I don't get enough sleep, and it's been affecting me. And it's been affecting my ability to perform, you know. And anyway, Clay Jewell, Joule, he's all over the charts now. This guy's amazing. He's asked me to sing on a new tune, and we're collaborating on it, and I have worked out a first verse and sent him just the first verse, and he loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and sing on a new song for him, and I'm sounding pretty good. So I think I'll be able to go ahead and get, I think I'll be able to go ahead and finish the vocals on this single that I want to release. I wanted to have it done in 2 weeks, but I've already passed that because I've been feeling just really lousy. But here's the thing. And I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I don't get the return on live streaming that I get on music, if you know what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, please, don't misunderstand me. I love chatting with you guys, I love talking with you guys, but it has to be secondary to the primary thing that I do. Just like none of you would ever miss work so you could come on a live stream, right? And I mean, people would think you were nuts, and that actually is a problem for some people. When Periscope first came out, people became addicted to it, and I remember that John Ho was saying that Jonathan J.K., right? Okay, good, yeah, thanks. Jonathan J.K. actually had to get some psychiatric treatment, which, you know what? I give him a lot of credit for that, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. They wouldn't seek therapy, and in addition to that, they wouldn't tell anybody. So that's, yeah, that was a very man's man thing for him to do. But it's like, anyway, and it's not about money. Of course, with YouTube, right, if you have, you know, if you're in the hundreds of thousands of views territory, you're making money. And so, to be perfectly honest with you, if I hit on some kind of a topic, and believe me, the only topics that are just, they're political and stuff, I don't want to go there. I just don't want to be that kind of a YouTuber. But I mean, you know, Kevin Samuels passed away, and there's a wide gap, you know, talking about you know, delusional feminism and all kinds of stuff like that. There's all kinds of those things that if I started talking about that, I mean, seriously, I can give people relationship advice that works, and it would blow up. But I don't want to do that, you know. So yeah. Well, here's the thing. He said that he got really addicted to it. And I had actually, what you guys don't know was, you know, because with Periscope you can do private private scopes, and people can go back and look at them later, even if they weren't there, you know, for the live stream. And I had a couple questions and some suggestions for Jonathan, and it started being a video conferencing chat. You know, it's almost like we were leaving video messages for one another. And I saw him. He was walking like in the underground subway or something in Hong Kong with his phone. He goes, "Hey, I'm really enjoying this kind of exchange. This is really cool. Yeah, it's a good way to communicate." You know, of course we do that now all the time with Line and other things, but back then that was pretty new. But he would get on Periscope every single day, and then it wasn't that he got on it every single day, because if you want to, if you're a single man, you don't have kids, you're not married, and you know you have a job and it's fixed hours and you know what they are, yeah, you could find time to do an hour every day if you wanted to. But it wasn't that he was doing it every day, it was that it was getting longer and longer and longer. It's doing, you know, and so the time was taken from him. And he actually saw a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist told him to quit. I don't know if you guys remember this. John Ho was talking about this. I don't know if you remember where he said Jonathan J.K. quit. I think it was for 2 whole weeks. Well, yes and no. Because by the time, well, let me ask you this question. When Periscope shut down, Jay Boy, did it bug you? I mean, did it really bother you? Because I'm going to be honest with you. There were a couple Periscope diehards, you know, like John Ho, and respect to him. But you know, where's John now? I mean, they all went to HAPS, and I don't know, but something in my gut told me that wasn't the place to go. And I did a couple live streams, right? And right now, you don't really miss it, you know. And if you really wanted to, it's Twitter Live, but it's a mess now. It's just like it's worse than YouTube, because if this was going to Twitter Live right now, you know, tomorrow afternoon you couldn't find it. It would be gone. It's just gone. It goes into a black hole. So in some respects, Periscope now has gone back to the 24-hour thing. Remember how if you didn't see a live stream in 24 hours, you were dead? So what we needed was Periscope with Catch. We needed some millionaire to buy Periscope, marry it with Catch, so the back end would be there for all the RSS feeds and everything else, and people could make websites and they could do business with Periscope and keep the scumbags off. But no, nobody would listen to me. And so they purposely killed Catch, and then the very next day, and it's funny because I wrote a message on Twitter, and I'm not on Twitter anymore. I don't write messages on Twitter. And I copied the CEO of Catch. I says, looks like somebody got married the day after the wife got buried. Words to that effect. The wife died and somebody got married the next day, something like that. And he gave me a thumbs up on that. But yeah, it was very clearly done. That I was very clear that Twitter coerced Catch somehow, ordered them to probably through terms of service, forced them to cease and desist, and they did. But Catch was originally designed to work with Meerkat, and Meerkat was evidently, I never used it, but evidently Meerkat was like a precursor to Periscope, and actually a pretty good platform. And I would love to see what would happen with Meerkat and Catch together, you know. So anyway, it is, but it's hard to stay relevant when you're on a platform that's not designed for what you do, you know. So at least with music, if I release it on Spotify, if you know, I release my stuff on, you know, I distribute it through a distributor. It goes everywhere. So at least it'll be on iTunes, and you know, it'll be on whatever. It'll be everywhere. What I'm trying to say is, there hasn't been a live streaming specific app that's come along that had the power, sophistication, and reach that Periscope has. And the live streaming community has become fragmented as a result. I mean, it's all Twitch and it's gamers. If you're not a gamer on Twitch, even though you're welcome there, there's no point in being there. You'll have, 10 followers or something, it's terrible. And, D-Live, which is basically just a cheap imitation, is no good. Caffeine is rappers and stuff, and it's okay, but the aspect ratio is weird, and it's just, I don't know. The RTMP aspect is really weird, so I don't know. Let me do this. Let me make a couple more million and see what I can do. But seriously, with the music, anything could happen. I was at one point looking, because I had the TaiwanLive.tv website, which I've since taken down, because it was just basically an album full of, YouTube videos, which I don't think everybody was looking at. I haven't noticed any difference in my views since I took TaiwanLive.tv offline, so I don't think TaiwanLive.tv was actually contributing to anything. But I have enough WordPress sites, and I've got a couple PHP BB sites, but it is possible for me to live stream directly to my own website. The hit is always with the chat. There are some, and it's funny because none of the live streaming solutions include chat, and none of the live streaming solution providers recommend a particular chat service. They just tell you, you have to find somebody to provide you with chat. And so the only one that I saw that had any promise was called Rumble Talk. And right away I found a problem with, I don't know what's going on with these people. Right away I found a bug or something, and I told them about it, and they said, oh wow, okay, nobody's ever reported that before. Well, okay, and they fixed it, but it's like the live experience on web versus the live experience on mobile would be entirely different, and that's not what you want. It is possible, and I have talked about this with some programmers, it is possible to do my own app. Hey, Ken Rudd. All right, almost at work. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining, appreciate it. Wonder what kind of coffee you're gonna have today. We'll find out soon though, I'm sure. It would be possible, it's entirely possible using all the content delivery networks, the CDN systems that are available, and the endpoint servers that are available. It's actually not all that much money, capital A out. What costs the money is the app, getting the app made. But it would be possible for me to make my own live streaming platform myself, and my own app that either people could download from my website, or if I could get it to qualify it for Google Play or the Apple Store. That would be pretty cool. That would be that'd be interesting. And so, hey Mike, nobody calls me Mike except my family. That's my brother-in-law. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. All right, fist bump to you. Everybody say hi to my brother-in-law. Been married to my sister, was it 42 years? Is that what you guys said? That's amazing. In a minute, I'll tell a little bit of the story about that. But it would be possible to do a live streaming app. But I'm going to tell you the whole thing, to put it together with the app and the initial launch and all that, it's probably going to be about $100,000 US dollars. That's what it would take. So, yeah, I don't want to do that yet. I did a $100,000 investment in something else, hasn't paid off yet. So, waiting for that. Mike Honeycutt is 4 years older than me, and we met him in 1973. My sister is a year and 2 months younger than I. I'm 66. All right, man. Hey, I love you too, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wish I could give you a big hug. So I just got the virtual hug. So kind of weird, but yeah. I appreciate that, man. Thanks. Yeah, but Heckle's iOS, okay? Heckle is not it. Heckle is not the one, trust me. Heckle doesn't work on Android. Even though Dean says Simon has been threatening to make it work, but on Android. But the point is, it's designed from the beginning to be a Periscope clone, and Periscope failed. So look, I used to tell this to people in the studio. If you want, you can copy Journey. You can copy David Bowie, Bad Company, the Beatles, or you can copy Johnny Turd and the Commodes. So it's up to you which one you want to copy. I choose to copy something successful. But we met Mike in 1973 when my family moved to Greensboro, North Carolina, and he was, quote unquote, the phone man. He was a telephone man. He came to our house and installed our telephone service. And he stayed with the phone company until he retired. And my sister married him. Amazing. And 42, that would have been 1980, right? Guys got married in 1980. Wow. That is so cool. Man, we're old, huh? Wow. Now, I couldn't make it. I was living in Boston, and things were really tight, and I was working all the time, and I was trying to build a small studio, and I was in a working band. But I remember my sister came and visited me, and she brought the photo album, and the photos were just pretty amazing, pretty incredible. So yeah, that was cool. 1980. So I was joking because on Facebook, Mike posted a post, and it was about their 42nd wedding anniversary. I was joking that you guys have probably had arguments longer than I've been married. Because, yeah, everybody knows I've been married 3 times. But, yeah, things happen. All right. So that was cool. So it's funny because the guys come here and they install the phone service and do the VDSL stuff. And the guy snaked a piece of fiber up the inside the wall. Where we live is, you would technically call it a townhouse or a condominium. It's in a group of, a string of houses that share a common wall between them, right? And I think, you know what? I've been living here for 15 years. I never counted how many there are. I think there's 10. I think there's 9 or 10. We're on the far end, and right in my carport is this big stainless steel, handle with a lock on it. It's not locked. It's an access door. You open it up and it's full of RJ21X connectors, And it's funny because I used to have a punch tool for those. But I could go along with an induction amp and just listen to whatever. But mostly people have landlines, but not so much like they used to. Obviously, most of those are just they're carrying internet. But the guy, I'm not sure why, and I didn't get a chance to look in that box. I should. It's open. I could walk down there now with my phone, turn the LED flash on and open the thing and look at it if I wanted to. But he pulled a piece of fiber up from that box. So there must be something. There must be something in that box, because the copper goes to the central office, and then there must be something in that box for the fiber to plug into. But he came upstairs and see, all Taiwan houses have access boxes on every floor, and because they're all wired with PVC pipes all through the house because it's poured concrete. And a lot of them have pull ropes and stuff in there. Like if I open the box on the second floor, there's a pull rope for the first floor. There's a pull rope for the for the third and fourth floors, because it's on the second. It's pretty interesting, because when I first had, we had a new modem put in that house when we first moved there, and I wanted the modem on the second floor. And so he said, no problem. He just used the existing wiring in the house, because all the rooms are wired. There's always an RJ21X in that box between, and multi-pair cables. There's no RJ45 connections. There are only RJ1114s, at the wall. But they got multi-pair cables. And so it was very easy for him to get the modem on the second floor. But I wanted internet access for one device on the first floor. So he went, believe it or not, from the electrical outlet over to that junction box and then down into the living room and put a piece of, like, I don't know, I guess it was Cat 5 back then, with an RJ14 on both ends, so I could hook up the device down the first floor, which worked just fine. And that's still there. I'm still using that today. Because everything's internet, right? My TV, I've got a box called a U-box. It's actually from China. It's a TV box. It gets channels from all over the world. And we've got the MOD, which is, the movies on demand, or multimedia on demand, which is owned by the phone company. And so I actually have a network switch on the first floor that handles all that. But the fact that there's no RJ45s is kind of interesting, though, because all the new houses have RJ45s, which is what you would use for Ethernet, right? And if there was, that opens up really amazing possibilities, because my interface for my studio is not USB. It's Dante network, which is an Ethernet network, which means if I have an Ethernet Dante enabled 2-channel, it's a stereo interface, like a recording interface. So if I wanted to record my daughter playing piano in the front room, I could bring 2 microphones downstairs, plug this device into the Ethernet cable in the house, bring it upstairs into the studio, and get 2 channels of audio in the studio with about 5 milliseconds delay. That's pretty remarkable when you think about it. But anyway, I think it might be, judging by the lack of engagement, I think that might be too technical to be talking about. But all right, it was fun stuff doing all that, just anyway. But the Dante network is amazing, and being able to, and also there's software that you can use to decode it, because I have a PCI card in my studio computer that offloads all the processing, because you can imagine converting audio to and from Ethernet is really quite daunting, but my card will do 128 channels bi-directional with 250 nanoseconds worth of latency. It's bizarre. But what I do, with the software, it's 5 milliseconds latency, and it's limited to 64 channels bidirectional. But that does mean that with an Ethernet cable, I could introduce 64 channels of Dante audio on the network from a laptop somewhere, you know, and or I could, because it's bidirectional, I could send or receive up to 64 channels. So that's pretty cool. Pretty amazing stuff. Anyway, how do we get in that topic? Oh, we're talking about the phone company. That's right. But I watched this guy strip the fiber, and he must have done, you know, thousands and thousands of them, because he just went, that was it. Put the connector on. It's like, wow, popped it in. So they said they were going to upgrade our internet in the neighborhood. They said that we didn't have to do anything, but they were going to, it was 100 megabits per second. They're going to make it 300. But see, I live in an old neighborhood, and everything's copper here, right? Yeah, that's true. But it does get better, and they have more devices, you know. Like all my cameras are on the internet and stuff. And when I'm away from home, if there's any motion in the cameras, or I have motion detector lights that I've installed in the stairwells of the house, because it's a 4-story house, and so the stairs go up. And so, yeah, but it's all, you know, it all comes back to a gateway, you know, and it all goes back to Ethernet. So it's amazing. But J-Boy, you're Indian, which means it's in your blood. I wonder if there's any Indian people that have been named Ethernet, or maybe have the, well, actually I was going to say maybe they have the Hindi word for Ethernet, but I'm sure the Hindi word for Ethernet is probably Ethernet. Just like, you know, I was looking at some Hindi words, and I was looking up the word for cake, and it's cake. So basically a lot of words in English just sound like Russell Peters saying them. Ethernet. I don't know. I love Russell Peters. Russell, you're getting older and you're not married. I was like, wow. So, J-Boy, I've been working on my Indian accent. I don't know. What do you think? Am I making any progress? Is it worth it, or should I just give up? I miss my friend Shaman. He used to live right down the street here. And he went back to India because he told me that he was having, word for word, yeah, exactly. They do that in Chinese too, but because it's not phonetic, and I know that in Hindi you can say anything. There isn't any kind of a vowel or consonant that you can't say in Hindi, really. I mean, but the, you know, the emphasis is different, of course, but what I'm trying to say is that with Chinese, they don't even try to come close. They just make up some words. Like instead of trying to say like McDonald's, they just say Maidano, you know, because it just sounds lazy. But yeah, I miss Shaman. He went back to Kolkata because he said he was having too much trouble. He's a PhD and making money here, but having too much trouble with Philippine ladies, partying all the time. I was like, don't you have any self-control? No, I don't. That's what he said. But we were in Thailand together. And I've always remarked about how Indian people phrase things, and they phrase things very interesting. Now, there's a movie, it's kind of an obscure movie. Of course, now with the internet, you can get anything, but back when I used to know about this movie, like in the late 80s, Peter Sellers, right? Oh, I see, okay, I see. Peter Sellers actually lived in India when he was a young man because of his parents. And he did a movie in 1968 with Blake Edwards. That's the producer for the Pink Panther. And the movie is called The Party. and he plays an Indian person named Hurandi V. Bakshi, and you will swear he is Indian. He's amazing. And the accent, the mannerisms, it's nuts. It's really crazy how good this is, right? And I have a copy of it. This is a fantastic movie. Gosh, it's late, but I may go home and watch it just to stay up late and see that movie. But there's a scene in this movie that really struck me because at that time, when I first saw the movie, I didn't have many friends who were from India, and I hadn't had much experience and conversations with Indian people, but since then, of course, it's completely different. And so, wow, he didn't even stop. He just beeped his horn. Big truck going through that intersection. Very dangerous. So, there's a guy shooting pool, billiards. He's playing pool, and he walks up and he says something like, "Pardon me, sir. What is the name of the game with the multicolored balls strategically distributed throughout the table?" Like this, right? And I had to pause the movie and rewind it. I said, "What the heck did he just say?" But it was very precise. Very precise. And that's what I noticed about Indian people. They're really precise. So, no, he is. He is good at whatever he does. And I got to tell you, I got, some of the old Pink Panther stuff. And it's like, you better go to the restroom first because you're going to wet your pants laughing. Especially the one where he goes into the castle made up and he's pretending to be like the dentist and his nose is falling off and stuff. And it's like, "Ha, you pulled out the wrong tooth." That was just, that's change your underwear kind of level of humor. But anyway, I went to Thailand with Shaman, and Shaman got in a bit of an accident riding a motorcycle, and he clipped the lady's car and took the mirror off, and he hurt himself, but not bad, just a couple scratches. And the motorbike's laying on the ground, and I ran over and said, "Hey man, you okay?" And he just says, "Look at this thing that has happened." The pirate, I didn't see that one. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh yes. Not a movie. Oh, yes, with the fake bird. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that is just, that's off the charts. But when Shaman looked at me and said, look at this thing that has happened, I just went, dude, that is so Indian. Why? What would you say? And of course, it would be a string of profanities, and and yelled and all this stuff, right? That it was just hilarious. But that's what he was known for. Look at this thing that has happened. So that was hilarious. But anyway, I've been on far too long, ladies and gentlemen. It is local time is now 1:18 a.m. I've certainly had enough rum for this evening. What I did was, can't really see it, but I have infused the rum with, Sri Lankan cinnamon. Not the cassia type that has the chemical that destroys your liver, even though it tastes great, but the real Sri Lankan, the Ceylon cinnamon. That's what I infuse this with. I have a small jar or bottle, I guess a shaker bottle of the cassia, but I use it very sparingly because of that. It has a sharper flavor, and they actually have those trees. Sometimes they call them Chinese cinnamon, but they have those trees in Taiwan. And when I was in East Taiwan last year, we were on a farm, and a lady said, "That's a cinnamon tree" in Chinese. I was like, wow. They are, but you know the thing is, right? I picked one of those leaves and chewed on it. It's really amazing. India is one of those places, like my experience, I have no experience going to India, but I have tons of experience going to Thailand, and it's the same thing in Thailand. There are so many subcultures and sub-languages, and I didn't realize until I spent some time there that there are 6 million people in the country of Laos up in the north, but in the northern part of Thailand is the Isan area, and there are more people in Isan in Thailand that speak Lao than there are Lao people. It's weird. And so then I started studying Thai music and the different genres of it, and it's like, you know, you could take a deep dive. Yes, it is. Well, actually, Mike, it started out as that Costco Kirkland spice rum from St. Croix. It's off the charts. It's amazing. It's amazing rum, and I added the cinnamon to it because I wanted the cinnamon on top of that. But you know what? I think I misjudged it. I think I poured too much cinnamon in it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and just add some more of the regular rum. But India is a country that you could just go there and spend your whole life trying to learn the cultures and the subcultures and the languages. Excuse me. I would just be a dumb, ignorant white guy going there, you know. I just don't have any experience at all. I want to go. I want to check it out, but it's not right now. That's not on the table. But yeah. But if I go, Jay Boy, I'll let you go. We're definitely gonna live stream together, and we're gonna live stream together with my good friend Old Monk. I still want to distribute Old Monk in Taiwan because there's that Spice Caribbean rum. And there are other rums here, and you know the whole spat with Lithuania. You guys heard about that, right? With China, with Lithuania. Lithuania decided, because you know, with Taiwan, right? Rum is popular, yes. Yeah, exactly, Jay Boy. You got to pick a region and then become an expert on that. There is an indigenous rum. It's made by the Taiwan Tobacco and Alcohol Monopoly. That's what the name of the company is, TTL. But it's not very good, and it's just like it's only been matured in oak casks for like maybe 3 years. I used to buy a lot of that from this store, and I would always spice it with cinnamon, but I got tired of it, you know, because it just in of itself it didn't have any flavor. And then I discovered that Costco rum, and it's been a love-and-hate relationship with Costco because they, you know, 6 years ago they had it, and then it disappeared for 4 years, and they brought it back, and it disappeared again, and it came back, and I went back the other day, and it's sold out, and I was like, well, you guys didn't discontinue it, did you? And they go, no. So when we were down in Kaohsiung, I sent my wife to the store, and she got me 3 bottles of it. It was great. So he's doing okay, and they're clearing out the debris because they had a landslide. So now the road is out again, and I talked to it's Andreas. I talked to him last week. Actually, I talked to him on the phone using Line, but they have their iPhone like outside the house in the middle of the field, just sitting on like a table or something out in the middle of the field, and they're using it as a Wi-Fi hotspot because their landline phone and everything's down, and you know, no TV, no phone, nothing like that. So, but they'll be okay because Taiwanese are very resilient, and they'll go back and they'll fix it all. So don't worry about that. All right, what I got to do? I seldom have to do this. Let me go back and I'm going to talk about, let me just see. Oh, yes. Okay, very good. I need to finish about the rum. The spat with China. See, Taiwan's not a country. For those of you who don't know, Taiwan is officially not a country. And it was done that way on purpose after World War II. It's a long story, but Japan legally owned and colonized Taiwan from 1895 to 1945, and then the Allied powers at the end of World War II decided to take Taiwan away from Japan. A lot of people think it's controversial because it had nothing to do with World War II, because they won it in the second Japan-Sino War, and because Japan has kicked China's butt several times, you know, in the 19th century. Anyway, so since 1945, the U.S. official position is that the status of Taiwan is undetermined, and for some reason they just left it like that. And nobody knows really why. It's very complex. There's been a lot written about it. You can read about it if you want, and Wikipedia has a very balanced article about that. But the result is that Taiwan has something like 14 actual countries in the world that have diplomatic relations, because the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, does not allow anyone to have formal diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China at the same time. So there's always a battle, and it's always in the news about the latest politician, and usually in some like small banana republic or some Pacific Islands nation that now has suddenly taken all kinds of bribes and has switched to Beijing. So Lithuania doesn't have official, right? No, they don't. They absolutely do not. But everybody has unofficial, relations. Even the U.S. does. There's an embassy in Taiwan. It's called the American Institute of Taiwan. It's not allowed to be called the American Embassy. And everybody has one here. You know, Germany, you name it. There's Netherlands. There's everybody. They all have them. All the major world powers. And it's reciprocal for them. But they call it, like in the United States, it's called TICRO, the Taipei, Economic and, I forget, Taipei Economic and Cultural, that's what, the Taipei Economic and Cultural, like regional office or something like that. But it says Taipei. Because that goes back to the thing where China said, okay, you can't compete in the Olympics as Taiwan or the Republic of China, but you can call yourself Chinese Taipei. And that goes along many, many, many things where China loves telling other countries what to do, and for some reason other countries simp for China and allow them to tell them what to do. Of course, the tide is turning now, and many countries are telling China to go take a hike. But they still have to compete in the Olympics as Chinese Taipei. So as long as they use the word Taipei, it doesn't seem to be a problem. But Lithuania allowed the Taipei Economic Office in Lithuania to change its name to Taiwan, like the Taiwan Representative Office or something like that. And China got their panties in a knot and just went nuts over it and said, okay, well, we're not going to buy any more stuff from you. And one of the things that China was buying from Lithuania was rum. And it wasn't a lot of rum, just not that much. But they got, their knickers in a knot. And so Taiwan said, hey, we'll buy it. And it sold out within hours. As soon as it hit the stores in Taiwan, the Lithuanian rum was gone like that. And so now we had Lithuanian government officials here, and they've been, showing on TV and the news, shaking hands with the president of Taiwan, and now they're all buddies and stuff. And now there's a Lithuanian economic office here, in Taiwan, and I'm pretty sure there wasn't before. So this kind of, complaining about everything and making a big issue about everything, it always backfires, because they just, and that's what they do, because they don't know what else to do. They got no game. So I'm not political and I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling you the facts. And so anyway, that's what's going on. And so I wanted to try that rum, but I couldn't find any. It was gone. But hopefully it'll be a big thing. Now, was it Lithuania? Or was it the Czech Republic? There's a kind of something similar happened with a European country. You guys can look this up. I can't remember. Unfortunately, I don't know. It's unfortunate I can't remember. Happened a while back. China got their panties in a knot again over some stupid diplomatic row, and they decided to cancel a bunch of orders for pianos. So some millionaire bought them all, and he distributed them, And so usually, and then the thing with the Taiwan pineapples, and you said this too, Matthew, about Taiwan pineapples. You said you heard they taste really good. China decided that it wanted to punish. This is what they always talk about doing. They want to punish, like everybody's their, poor little redheaded stepchild or something. They want to punish everybody who doesn't get in line. And so they were going to punish, China was going to punish Taiwan by not buying the pineapples. So Japan bought them. And the Japanese market bought them, and they went like that. And Japan said, hey, these things are really good. We're going to take some more. So now Taiwan is shipping more pineapples to Japan than they were shipping to China, and nobody cares. Because let me tell you, the farmers don't care. Because the farmers get the money, and the pineapples go in the truck, and they go like this, they bye-bye, and they see the back of the truck, and that's all they see. They don't care where they go.